Shane Brodie. Shane, the powerlifting club, I suppose, taking a bit of a hit with the advance of COVID-19, but you're looking to get back on your feet.
Yeah, it's the struggle is real, as they would say. I suppose it's like all sporting organisations and everything else in businesses and the whole lot. We're all taking a major blow. Especially the people like ourselves that are just the club running from month to month. What comes in basically goes back out the door. 9 times out of 10 at the end of every month we're back in the rent, we're back in the bills. So unfortunately, at the moment, things don't look too good for us, but we keep struggling to the end. We've got our landlord is deferring our rent over 18 to 24 months. Still in talks with him in relation to that. It's probably not enough time because, as I just explained, in most months we'd have to back the rent, back the bills. So, just say we'd be just under 10,000 in arrears after this if we were to get back in August 10th. So it's going to have a massive effect on the club. We'll keep struggling. We will reopen. We hope to reopen maybe a little sooner. We can chat about that in a little bit more. But yeah, as I said, the struggle is it's real. It leaves us in very uncertain times, but we'll get back when they permit us to open, and then hopefully we can recover. So it's the recovery we're looking at rather than shutting the doors.
And Shane, it's different for yourselves in so far as, like you said, you're a club rather than a commercial entity. So it's kind of every member that goes through the door is invested in the club. Really, it's a little bit different.
Yes, right. This is very much the members' club. There's nothing to date being released for any of the sporting organisation. Any of the governing bodies haven't backed any of their, the FAI haven't passed money down to the junior clubs. I know that the GAA, I truly believe they haven't passed down any money, to help out their clubs. Now, I know they may do so going forward, but this club here, we're affiliated with the Irish Powerlifting Organisation. And unfortunately, the Irish Powerlifting Organisation is very much in similar circumstances as the club. It's non-profit. It's run for the members, by the members. We run events throughout the year that will create very small revenue, but it gives us a platform to lift on. And we don't get any help. We can't get any help from the international body, the national body, and also not in line with any government grants or anything like that yet on offer to us.
Yeah, and it's very much a case of reset and see where you are. I mean, it's like that for all sports across the board, isn't it?
Yeah, I truly believe it is. I was listening to 95 FM on Saturday morning, and they had Ken Moore of St. Francis Boxing Club on, and I was actually, just to listen to Ken speak on Saturday morning, just, I could feel everything he was saying, and, pretty much like us, that we just keep pushing forward, hopefully with the restrictions that we put in place and all that we get back in and that we can manage to still sustain ourselves and hopefully have enough time in a day to have, the smaller groups of people at a time, and then still be able to pay the bills and, and then running competitions and national championships and all that. That's another challenging thing that's very challenging what lies ahead for us with that, with the restrictions of the amount of people that can attend and the social distancing.
Yeah, and I suppose it's very much a case of like everyone's going to have to take a share of the pain, aren't they? Be it members at clubs who might have to attend in hour-long windows rather than, they might have to book their gym session ahead. people's ways of doing things, be it going to the soccer match, the GA match, rugby, or to the gym, everyone's going to have to kind of make adaptations as we go forward until we've either got a vaccine or a cure.
Yeah, everything, across all sports, it's the world has changed, massively changed. Just in relation to our own club, our members have been really supportive. A lot of them have, suggested still paying fees whilst we were closed to try to help with the cover of costs. We've lent out some of them equipment. We rented out some equipment to try sustain the bills, and we also sold some pieces of equipment that we weren't regularly using enough. So we took the opportunity to bring in some revenue that way. But yeah, on the other side of things, where when it comes to events and the numbers of people we can have in the gym, that's really going to be challenging, because you're going to have maybe the likes of myself and the 2 or 3 others that help here, and the other coaches and that provide their time already on a voluntary basis. Now we're probably going to have to give more time than we normally do. If we put in 10 hours a week, it may be doubled, because there has to be someone manning the club. In the older days when the club was a little bit smaller, we all kind of had keys and we could just enter at our own place. But now, we have a lot more members. So, for insurance reasons and that, you have to have one of the qualified instructors like myself on the premises. So therefore we have to be here, and we'll have to be here more than we will. And that, takes some family time and everything else. So yeah, everything's going to change, the whole layout of the gym, and especially with the slots. I think, I believe some of the gyms, friends of mine, have a lot of friends all over the world that own gyms, and in the States at the moment, they've restarted all their membership from scratch. They refunded many of the people, and then they've started a whole new pricing plan. There's no more paying for your membership on a monthly or an annual. Now what to do is you book your slot per day. You go in the day before, or you can book a month in sessions, and you book an hour at a time. Instead of paying maybe $40 or $50 a month, they're now charging $8 per hour. But if you want to train twice in that day, that's $16 per day. So this is the other way that gyms are going to start looking to get revenue in, and clubs and stuff. Unfortunately, prices will increase to sustain, to be possible to stay open. Other than that, I can see a lot of places closing. So.
As somebody who's involved, and any time I've been at any of the events, or even in the gym itself, there is that kind of community feel, and that about the place, that community vibe. What do you miss most about it? Do you miss hanging around the gym, meeting the people, watching people progress, coaching? What's the biggest part of it that you miss?
Yeah, across the board, I miss all those things. You really meeting the lads and the girls. The social aspect of it every evening, or the 4 or 5 nights a week that we're here. It's been nearly 3 months now since we see most of them. You can see them on social media, and some of them are active, and some of them have kind of gone quiet and not even got involved in group chats and stuff like that. So, this is playing, it's very hard on a lot of people, and I think on the mental side of things, I think a lot of people are suffering from this COVID, and we probably see, unfortunately see the bad side of that, as time goes on. In the past few weeks, there's been, in the professional side of bodybuilding, last week there was a female and another girl that took her own life. And last month in the UK, we had a guy, he's the pro bodybuilder, and unfortunately, same circumstances. It was very sad to see, but he had a regime. He was up every day. He was training. He's a social media icon. He's Instagram and all that, and it's like his world is taken from under him. And many people in the fitness industry, across all sports, for professional footballers, and but the difference here is between when sports are professional, like football and GA, and they have psychiatrists, they have how to deal with these type of scenarios. But for amateur sports like ourselves or boxing, a lot of the younger generation that have now been training 2 to 3 times daily, heavy regime and diets and training protocols, are now left with basically some people can't train, and coming to terms with that, I think, is tough, very tough for a lot of people. And I think it has probably a harder side mentally than people realize. So I truly see the gym as a major essential, as we will call it.
I suppose, Shane, what gives you cause, I suppose, for hope or for optimism looking forward? Is it that kind of community spirit within the gym? Is it the fact that, like you said, that you're confident that you've overcome kind of bigger challenges in with the powerlifting club, and that you'll go have another crack at it?
Yeah, well, I always put up a good fight. I don't give up too easy and walk away. So yeah, this club, even though you established the club itself in 2012, the group of guys behind the club that trained with me for 20 years, almost, I'm 30 odd years involved in the sport myself. So it's taken a long time to bring it to where it is. LPC, Southside Barbell as a club, and the Irish Powerlifting Organisation as an organisation on a national level, there's just 20, 30 years of work, and the people that came before me, Tom Dillon and that, I didn't just start powerlifting. Powerlifting was there since the early 70s, and there's many, many legends in Irish powerlifting that have built it, and the likes of me and the people that come after me will only be just working as hard. But I'll do my best to keep it going for on my side of things. I'm looking forward to the challenge, but it is very worrying. It's a lot of sleepless nights, twisting and turning, silly dreams. Do we sell off the equipment? Do we close the doors? It's very uncertain, but it's very hard.